The swing gray line is a deep cycle indicator, and it's one of the best in the system. And the other two deep cycle indicators are the power blue and pink. And you can get combination comparisons between the two to verify what's happening with the market pressures. But the entry point or the exit point of the swing gray line is controlled by a couple of your faster, narrower lines. They're not deep cycle lines, but as you'll see here in this chart, the situation is almost universal, and by that what I mean is I've got this chart and another chart with three other examples that I'm going to show you. But what happens is it's a classic. This is what happens the majority of the time. Number one, your swing pink is your fastest line. If you haven't heard me talk about it, the swing pink and the zip red are the two fastest lines within the system, in my opinion. And I have only the three charts up here, the power, trend, and swing. I've got the swing chart expanded a little bit more than the other two, and as you can see by the red vertical line, I'm on the first green candle after a downtrend has taken place. And what has happened is the gray line has continued going down. But, and I'll blow this up a little bit more, the swing and the swing yellow is in its first day of a turnaround. The gray is still going down, but that is in the first day of its turnaround. The swing Zion is in the first day of its turnaround, and the swing pink is in the second day of its turnaround. So the swing pink is the fastest. If I move this line over here, all of the lines are down except the swing pink, which is up. The swing Zion is obviously giving us a low angle down, which tells us it's going to turn around and go back up the next day, especially when you get two flat bottoms on a lower right leg W pattern. That's a real good signal as well. But what this is telling you, we often identify our scans and use our indicators by identifying what the zip pink is doing and what the zip yellow is doing. The zip Zion pretty much follows along with the yellow. So sometimes there's exceptions to that, of course, but we'll normally just keep with the swing yellow, swing pink in relation to the swing gray that's going down. So when that, you're alerted right now. The swing pink has gone up, and so in the evening or after the market closes, you can identify this. Be ready when the market opens the next morning, or however your style of trading is. That's going to be the identification point, the entry point, and the next day it opens up as a typical green candle. This particular one opened up at 145.63. It had a low of 142.16, so it went down $3.50 before it went back up. From high to low today, it was 142 to 152. So that's a $10 candle, and looking at it on this chart, it doesn't look impressive. But anytime you got a range of $10, you should have had a very nice day. But you're in that alert right there on this day for tomorrow. because tomorrow when the candle opens, it's going to drop, just like I mentioned, the $3.50, and then it's going to go up. And so this is a classic. This is the classic swing gray down, swing yellow up indicator that we see. Here are three more that I'm going to make you aware of, and in this case here I'm going to, again, I wanted to show you a little bit broader view before I expand the swing chart. You've basically got low cycles that are taking place in your swing gray, and you're not, you're obviously, the swing gray lines are every one of them is still going down. Over on the right vertical line, you have a green candle with the swing gray going down, and that is very indicative of a stronger uptrend coming up. And just like in the third day of this market, where we had a huge gap down before it went back up past the previous close, this is 2 days after this red vertical candle. This is why I day trade. I start out wherever it is in the morning, and if you were holding that position and you just wanted to go long, you might really have gotten nervous on that day and gotten out because it went down so far. It closed on the day after the vertical red candle at 87.69, and it opened at 82.93. So it would have been a $5 drop. It would have been significant. But if you weren't in the trade, you closed out and you were ready to start going again, it's logical that that should have started out where it was. But for some reason, the exchange guys decided that, hey, we're going to really drop this baby and make a few more sales. But the key thing here is, as I expand this, as you can see, in this case here, the swing Zion, swing yellow, and swing pink all turned up on the same day. And so when you set your alerts in your scans, you can set them as swing pink up, or swing pink in a BOC, swing yellow in a BOC with gray down, and you can pick that up at a few minutes after the open and go trade that candle that day. In this particular case, it went from 84.50 to 86.32. Not a big candle, but a couple dollars worth. So that there, as I mentioned, is a triple. Pink, yellow, and Zion in a BOC pattern, bottom of cycle pattern, with the gray down. As we know, the gray line is a longer term line. It's a deep cycle line. It takes a little bit for it to come back, but it really sets the tone for us in being able to spot that point in which we have an uptrend. As you noticed also, the trend red is very much part of verification or even identification. In this particular line over here on the red, right red vertical line, the trend red has already gone up over the top of the green, trend green line. And that, as you know, is a clear sign of an uptrend. When the red is traveling down under, like this right here, the red is traveling sporadically, but it's under the green line, and you can see the obvious downtrend that you're in. Same thing over here, we're in an uptrend. On this middle vertical line, we have a trend red that is in a BOC pattern, but it hasn't crossed the green line. But the swing gray is down, but if I expand this, the Zion is in a, I call it a crescent move. It's usually a 4-day pattern. I've seen them 5 days. Sometimes you'll see them only 3, but usually it's a strong 4-day pattern. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and it came down from the top, which is this it would be this one right here. And that's created a 4-day swing Zion. You can call it a crescent move, or there's different, I guess there might be different names for it. But that is actually a signal for an uptrend. Obviously the swing yellow is in a low angle down. That's an uptrend. And if you notice, the green line kind of hides the pink line here, but the swing pink is in a high right leg W on the alert day, the vertical red line day. And when you have the swing pink in a high right leg, it is definitely a indication of an uptrend the next day. And obviously, when this thing is happening, your red and green are going down, and they're actually negative. And so if you didn't have the trend red to show you that the market was going up, or you didn't have this turnaround with the swing pink and yellow and the swing Zion, you might not think you want to go long the next day. But it's a clear indication of it. In fact, I think if you go to the video about the trade log, I did to explain the trade log and how I use it. I entered a position, and then just I think I planned on going in there for 3 to 5 days. I ended up selling out on the 3rd day because of a red island, but I'd have to check again. But I think I chose that position because I had a pink right leg high W, a high right leg W, excuse me. And whenever you get those, things go up, especially when you have the verification of a trend red. Your trend red on this middle vertical line is at -77. And so anytime you're getting down there from 50 to 100 and you have a turnaround, it's usually a pretty nice turnaround. The open on the day after this red line was 92.68, and 2 days later the close was 96.11. So it went from 92, excuse me, I said that wrong. It went from open, yeah, 92.68. So it went almost 93, and it went up to little over 96. So you've got a little over $3 movement in a couple of days, which is a nice movement. And all of your indicators would tell you you're in there for 3 days, and you obviously would have whatever indicators you spot for a top to exit the trade at that point. The third vertical line is, again, we have trend red at, in this case, trend red is at -42. It's just under the 42 line, but it's up. It is under the green line, and the green line is in a low angle down, which is indicative again of a uptrend movement. And of course, your 3 lines here in your swing trade, you have that typical, or that not typical, but in this case here you have a 3-day crescent move, that swinging crescent arm, which creates this real low angle on the 3rd day for the swing Zion line. Obviously, the swing yellow line is in a low angle up, and the swing pink is in a high right leg W again. And so that's indicative of a nice strong move when you get that swing pink high right leg W. And the next day, it opens at 103.01 and it closes at 106.92. So it was almost a $4 move, 103 to 107 in one day. And And on this day that it follows, you can see that the swing blue line is now almost ready to cross over the swing green line, which is indicative of an uptrend. But just like I've told you in the past, when the swing blue crosses over the green, it can sometimes be a very weak uptrend indication, which obviously it does, because you only get two green candles out of this. And if you look at the situation, what are we doing? We are in just a consistent downtrend in this particular example, and we're doing pullbacks. And it's nice to be able to trade those pullbacks. It's nice to be able to see those pullbacks. And you see them by these real low trend reds, and you verify your entrance points with your swing pink, yellow, and cyan lines, because your grays are still going down. So that's the classic example of using the swing trade in a bottom movement to identify your entry point for the uptrend. And obviously, because we're in a major downtrend, and it's obvious in your candles as well, you have a situation where the amount of time that it goes up is only 2-3 days at the most. And so you got to think about that when you're doing pullbacks. It's a great place to earn some additional money in a trade, but you definitely don't want to hang on to them long term.